Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name's Chris Kalaboukis, and I'm coming at you live from deep in the in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation, startups, the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. If you watch on YouTube, smack that subscribe button and hit that bell so you'll be notified when a new show comes online. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast service, please subscribe and please drop a note on Apple Podcasts. I greatly appreciate it. So, you know what the big problem is today? I think this is one of the problems that we have today, is that we are always into the end result or the goal of what we're looking at and not the journey. We've stopped exploring and discovering. And now all we do is we go for the end result. And I think part of it is because of the way our systems have evolved. We've evolved to become a planet of people who are seeking goals. And we focus on those goals. We focus so intently on those goals. And we seem to be so focused intently on those goals that we completely forget about the path to the goals and how useful the path and the journey to the goal might be. We have laser focus on the goal, but if there's anything amazing happening on the other side of those blinders, we have no idea. And the problem is that I think we've gotten to that point with our technology too. Our technology is designed in such a hyper-personalized way that when we sit there and get fed from our feed this stuff, whether it be news or Facebook or social media, whatever, the stuff that's fed to us, it's only fed to us to enrage us and outrage us so that we can engage more and more and more and suck us back in. Like I've said before, it's more like a drug. You take the drug happens, it sucks you in, and it gives you more and more, and the drug changes to addict you more and more and more. And what are you doing? You're going down this straight path towards your goal, and you're not seeing anything outside of you. It wasn't always like that. We used to be in a period of discovery, of exploration, where we would love to kick around on different sites, see new things that we've never seen before. Now we're all so afraid to be exposed to things we don't like. We immediately, oh my God, there's an opinion that disagrees with me. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear about it. I want to stay in my safe little bubble and never be told about anything else that's out there because it might freak me out. It might scare me. People, what's happened to us as humans? We used to love to explore. We used to love to have visions into strange new worlds, see new things. We used to love to discover stuff. Just wander around. Take a journey with no end, or take a journey to an end, but keep an eye on what else there is out there in case there are other opportunities that are better than the end. I think we've stepped away from that in all of our systems and all of our technology, and we continually drive our poor human beings to goals. They set up these goals and they drive toward these goals, and they don't have a chance to, or any kind of inclination to explore, to discover, to see new things. Do you guys remember StumbleUpon? So those of you who don't remember StumbleUpon, it was basically a website which took you to a random website. You'd go there, you'd sign up, and sometimes you could actually say, I want to see a website in this category. But sometimes it was just, give me a random website. I mean, I used to spend time on StumbleUpon going, here's a random site. And 99% of the time I got junk. Nothing interesting. But every now and then, as I was bouncing around, exploring, discovering, I would see something cool and different and interesting. It's kind of like why I go to used book sales. And people say to me, Chris, you've got too many books. Look at how many books you got. You got tons of books. This is just a small sample of the number of books I have. I have a lot of books. And I haven't read them all. I used to be in a situation where I could look up in my books and say, hey, I've read all those books. And now I look at them and say, well, these are books I haven't read yet. Although some of these have been back here I have read. Why do I go to book sales? Why do I look for new books even though I have a ton of books that I've already read or have to read? I'll tell you why. Because of exploration, because of discovery, because of possibly coming across that brand new thing, that brand new little nugget of something that can drive me to come up with brand new things. I try to expose my brain to as many new stimuli as possible, especially things that are outside of the technology space, in the philosophy space, in the sociology space, in the political space, in all these different spaces. There's so much out there in the world that we have not been exposed to. And a lot of times people say, why are you bothering with that? It's a waste of time. Just focus on your goal. Focus on your goal. Focus on your goal. But what if your goal is to come up with creative new products? What if your goal is to come up with new things? What if your goal is to envision the future? If your goal is to do those things, if your goal is to come up with something new and different, why would you stay in this tunnel? You would want to be outside of the tunnel. You wouldn't want to be anywhere near the tunnel. You'd want to be in a position where all these juxtapositions can occur. All this new data can flood into your head, and you can make new connections. You can learn new things. You can do something different. You can create new ideas. You can be creative, much more creative than if you just stayed in that tunnel. I think a lot of us have lost our sense of exploration and discovery. And we're not really interested in getting it back. We're just focused on that goal, and we don't want to do anything different. But the reality is, on the way to that goal, there's probably so much that you're missing. So instead of taking a straight path to the goal, the reality is there's no such thing as a straight path to any goal. Meander a bit. Explore a bit. Discover a bit. Spend some time doing something random. I think I told you about the times, and sometimes when I'd sit down in a restaurant and the waiter would come up to me, or the server would come up to me, and I'd say, what's the least popular thing on the menu? And they all look at me strangely. They will, what do you mean least popular thing on the menu? Nobody ever asks for the least popular thing. They always ask for the most popular thing. So I asked for the least popular thing, and sometimes I would get something that's amazing. I can't imagine nobody orders this thing. Sometimes it would suck, but sometimes it's amazing. So you see what I mean? It's like we have lost. Now, you may not have lost, or you may not feel have you lost, but think about it for a second. How often do you explore new things? How often do you go off the beaten path and see something different? How often do you do something out of the ordinary, something new that you've never done before? Something as simple as going to a new restaurant in a new place that you've never seen before. Try a new cuisine that you've never had before. Try a new food that you've never had before. Pick up a book from an author you've never read before. How many times do you expose yourself to new things? Think about this. How many times have you actually explored and discovered something new? Maybe you should start. Or maybe you should do more of it if you already do it. Who knows where you can go? That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.